a really basic template to help you build a relatively complex search. So you start with your question or the statement that you're working with as your thesis and break it into major concepts. So in this case, we've got the idea of pharmacology education. We could probably split that into two concepts, and depending on how the search goes, we might making it pharmacology and then education. We've got the idea of your models, and then you've got your population, so undergraduates and graduates. So the first step is typically just to pull from your brain, as you have done in the email you sent me, other words that will relate or could be used as synonyms, related terms to these different concepts. So for instance, if we did concept two, we've got models, we would probably want in vivo and invertebrate. And then similarly with undergraduates and graduates, we'd have undergraduate, graduate. We'd probably also just use student at one point. We could also use college, university, which tend to get a little tricky towards the end.
But I only here want to just add one or two things, okay? First is some tricks. Again, these are really some tricks. At some point, you will go to the knowledge market in the library for more help. So you please do plan for that, because they know a lot more how to do these types of things, and you can make an appointment with the liaison, the library liaison for your particular major, and that will take you to who should help you. So for example, here at the library, if you go to subject guides, library, University Library's webpage, so the subject guides are, actually let me go back here. So this is the library. If I click on subject guides, that takes me to different subject guides based on your discipline. I'm going to go biomedical science because that's what I do. So I'm going to click on biomedical science, and here is my liaison. So Sarah Joseph is our liaison. You could click on that to email or contact her for help with how to access any of these databases, or even how to use Zotero. So Zotero is that database, is that citation software that is free and is absolutely terrific. Okay, so here is again the search menu for Web of Science. So what am I looking for here? I have put in parentheses, so those are my tricks, parentheses, and I put Boolean terms, and I put an asterisk. What do those mean? So by putting an asterisk after pharmaco, what I'm saying is it could be pharmacokinetics, it could be pharmacology, it could be pharmacodynamics, whatever has the term pharmacology or pharmaco in the word, okay? It will pick it up. Or toxico, okay? So it could be, again, toxicokinetics, toxicodynamics. So again, that's what I'm interested in here. I put that in parentheses, okay, meaning any of those two terms, either pharmaco or toxico. Next is this term that is unique to Web of Science, which says near/3, meaning that the term pharmaco or toxico should be within 3 words of the term education or student. Why did I use education or student? Well, some papers might use student, some papers might use education. Okay, so that's why it's either or. So if this finds a term that has student within 3 words of the word toxico or the word pharmaco, it will be included in that search. And so it must include those two, and it must include either in vivo or in vitro or invertebrate. Okay, that is for me, those are things that would help identify the papers that are relevant to what I am doing. And so now that I've done that, I could decide, what, I want to add a date range. And so I want to do the most recent So I don't want to do all years, so I'm going to add, so let's see, publication date, and let's do advanced search. I'm going to add a date range. Okay, I'm just going to do the last 5 years. Or let's just do custom. So I could do 20, year 2000 to year 2023. Okay, I need to add text in the search field, so I'm going to add the search I add. So I'm going to add to query, and I put a date, and I'm just going to do a search. Oh, invalid date. So it does want 12. Okay, let me do 0101 2023 12 31. I can do a search. So how many do I find? It comes up with how many results? 50 results from all databases. And so here are the results. So there was 2 in 2022, 2 in 2021. In my case, I don't want a review article. Okay. I don't want a quick review article. So what I will do here is I'll go to document type, and I'm going to see all. And I want articles. I don't want meeting abstracts, dissertations. Okay, I think I want dissertations because I can see what they did. And that's good enough for me. Maybe let me add a book just so I see what people have written in books. So I'm going to refine. So now I'm down to 28 citations. So these are primary papers that I can read. And again, so toxicology student within 3 words, pharmacology education, and so on. So these are my 28 articles for this particular study. So now I can go ahead and search a little bit, read the abstracts of those 28 to help me understand, oh, these ones are useful, these ones are not useful, and that will help me narrow things down to the ones I will read in detail. Finally, I'm just going to show what people have typically done. I'm going to go Google Scholar here. So I'm going to go scholar.google. So this is Google Scholar, and I can paste my search in there as well. And notice, key difference. So Google Scholar gives me about 456 results. That's way more than the 50 I found. So now I have to now go back and look at all the articles. So one of the things you would notice here is, for example, students t-test, which is a statistical test, but because the search included student, Google is unable to say, oh, this is student referring to students like in education, not students the statistical technique. Okay, so these are some things to show you that Google Scholar is still good, but it's still not the most appropriate. The other thing is a lot of these articles have nothing to do with education. Okay, of the 456, many of them don't have anything to do with education. So, for example, this paper has nothing to do with education, which is one of the key terms that I am looking at. And so, again, the point here is to say this. As you do your search, one, it's important to reach out to the librarian to help you find the right database and the right way to limit your search so that you're getting real results and not a wild goose chase looking at 456 articles that are really not that relevant to what you are interested in. Okay. So that's the little I know. I will refer you, of course, to the librarian, and you can take it up from there. But one final thing, please, as you do these searches, save them under your profile in Web of Science under the library. So it's important to sign in to the library database. That way, you can always go back to that search afterwards, and also you can share the search with me. Actually, how about I do that right now? So that's my search, and I can copy query link right there, and I can paste my query link right there, and voila, it gives me back the exact same search that you did, and I can look at it as well with you, or your supervisor, your advisor, your research mentor can do the same thing.